Republican Congressman Sean Duffy of Wisconsin. As we await announcements of Donald Trump's cabinet picks, Congress is finishing up its business for this year, making preparations to work with the new Trump administration. Congressman, the Speaker, Paul Ryan, he told our Jake Tapper over the weekend there really isn't a full-scale bill yet in place to replace Obamacare. Why isn't there a bill ready to go? I know you guys have passed legislation repealing it, but you still don't have legislation, specific legislation, to figure out what would replace Obamacare with. And you've had 6 years to figure it out. Why no specific legislation?
Good question. But to supplement what Speaker Ryan said is we have a number of different bills, and what we have to do is figure out what option we're going to take forward to repeal and replace, and Donald Trump has to be part of that conversation. He has to indicate what parts of Obamacare he likes, what parts he doesn't, and then we have to talk about what those fixes actually look like. But make no mistake, we're gonna fix health care for American families. That was a resounding message that we got last Tuesday, was that the premiums are going up, deductibles are going up, I can't afford it, it doesn't work for me, and you guys got to help us out, and we're going to do that.
But it's still confusing to me because 60 times or so you voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, but you still don't have specific legislation in mind to replace it.
But that's not true, Wolf. Again, we have over 10 bills from different members in the House. It's just a matter of what piece of legislation do we want to pick, or what combination of those bills do we want to pick. But I don't want your viewers to think there's a blank sheet of paper over here. That's not the case at all. We have a bunch of different ideas that we'll pick from to decide how we move forward. And frankly, part of the repeal, if you repeal just parts of Obamacare, like the individual mandates, you do a lot to help American families get different coverage at a better price. But that's not the plan. The plan is to have a replacement that works for families.
The argument is if you repeal one part, like the individual mandates, you're not going to have the money that you need to make sure that people who have pre-existing conditions will be able to afford health insurance.
No, but we're going to make sure that those with pre-existing conditions actually continue to have the ability to afford coverage. We want to help those young kids in America who want to stay on their parents' health care coverage. I don't know if it stays to 26, maybe it goes to 22 or 23, but those are common principles that we agree on. But again, it's a matter of we got to bring in Mr. Trump. And right now, as we talked about before, he's working on building out his cabinet, building out a team that is 4,000 people. When he has space of mind to talk to us about what that replacement looks like, we'll decide what piece of legislation or what combination of legislation we choose to move forward with.
Sean Duffy, the congressman from Wisconsin, thanks as usual for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.